Hey guys, how is it going? It's 8-Bit Eric. I'm finally going to review Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. This is a game that was my most anticipated. I really didn't get into Call of Duty until I played Cold War a couple years back. That was the Call of Duty that I really sat down and sank the teeth in. And then of course I got Vanguard and really sucked the teeth to that. So if you've been watching my live streams for the last couple years, I've played those quite a bit, plus Warzone, so I was already dead set on getting Modern Warfare 2. Plus, a lot of you guys that watch my streams definitely hyped up this game. You guys were like, hey, I like Modern Warfare. You should check out Modern Warfare 2 because it was the best one. So I was like, all right, so coming in, we are playing a new Call of Duty game in 2022. And there are some new things and some things brought back from the past. Let's go ahead and talk about the campaign real quick, because I made a point to play the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign. First thing, I already played it, beat it. It was actually really short. I guess that's the norm. I guess multiplayer is always the focus when it comes to Call of Duty. But I was actually pleasantly surprised with the story that was presented here. I'm not going to get too much in spoilers, but there was a lot of good levels. It had a lot of action. There was one where you're like bouncing from vehicle to vehicle trying to catch up to the front of a convoy. There's one where you're using like the CCTV camera of a helicopter. There's some where you have to like hide in the water and kill people on the dock, and there's just a huge variety of levels here. There's a prison break one. That one was freaking awesome. But a huge variety of levels that have you using, you know, your skills, your weaponry, and things like that. And it was pretty cool because you have AI characters that help you out, like Ghost and the other characters in your squad, and they could even kill NPCs. So you feel kind of like you're in a mission, like you're part of a SWAT team, Secret Service / Special Forces ops type of thing. So the immersion was there, definitely. And I think the graphics look pretty cool. The level designs, the attention to detail that were presented in this game. You know, I haven't really sat down and finished Vanguard's campaign. I did finish Cold War, which felt like a little bit of a slog. Not a slug, a slog. But this one, at no time did I feel like it was lame or dull or anything like that. I actually quite enjoyed the campaign, so I'm glad that I paid for it. Fortunately, I didn't get the Vault Edition, which if you get the Vault Edition of the game, you get the characters like Ghost and I guess Pierce, and I forget who the other guy, Soap. You get those guys as characters that you can use in multiplayer. So multiplayer, you know, if you played a Call of Duty game, for the most part, you've played them all. There's not really much of a difference, you know, it's really solid. There's a lot of stuff, but they did bring back Ground War. Apparently this was in a previous Call of Duty. It's a bigger scale map, you know, with more players on it. There's also an invasion mode. I guess this is their answer to Battlefield. You know, these bigger maps that have APCs and tanks and helicopters, and you have areas where you could spawn on the map and things like that. So good variety there. I prefer team deathmatch, but there are the other stuff in here like domination. There's also free-for-all, search and destroy, headquarters, kill confirmed, hardpoint, prisoner rescue, knockout. You know, there's a huge amount of playlist. The variety of maps at this time is kind of low, but there are some cool ones. But I do hope eventually, I guess when season 1 starts, November 16th, that we get to see a steady rotation of maps and playlists and things like that. Now, one thing that they did add to this, and I don't think this was in any other Call of Duty in the past, is that there's a third-person mode. So you can play all the multiplayer maps and all the multiplayer maps. I think Team Deathmatch, Domination, Hardpoint, but you play in third person, so you get to see your character from a different point of view. It's weird. It feels very weird. I don't think I like it, but it's kind of interesting that they put the option for third person out there. I don't know exactly why they figured they would do something. I don't know if they did this before in a Call of Duty game. But it does take some getting used to, especially when it comes to aiming, and it just feels kind of out of place. It doesn't really sink you into the immersion as much, but I guess, you know, putting options out there for players is a good thing. Different variety of modes and stuff like that. Now, as of this recording, the game has only been out for about a week. The season is supposed to start November 16th. So when you go to the actual multiplayer menu, the battle pass isn't even able to be looked at all. And the store doesn't really have anything in it except an endowment pack and a cross-gen pack that you can buy. So I'm interested to see eventually what skins, what kind of skins for guns, what kind of skins for operators we're going to be getting in the past or in the future, or if we're going to get guys from Cold War or Vanguard in the past brought over, because sometimes they throw characters from previous games in here, but I think they're going to just start over from scratch with Warzone and Modern Warfare 2 only and focus on those seasons. I don't think the Battle Pass is going to transfer to Vanguard or anything like that. So I guess it's a fresh start. It's a fresh, clean slate. I believe this game is going to be supported for 2 years, so there's not going to be another Call of Duty for a couple more years. So they're planning on supporting this game for quite some time. Some things that I would like is I would like to see additional campaign missions. There are co-op missions that are available on here. You can do like co-op missions and stuff like that. I haven't tried them out yet. Maybe I'll get to it. So this review is not a 100% finalized review. With a game like this that gets drip feed content, you can't really have a full out review. But as far as my impressions go, I know there's a huge amount of people out there that watch this channel that don't really care for Call of Duty or FPSs for that matter. I was kind of in that boat until I got the Series X and the PS5, and I decided to try out Warzone and Cold War. And now I'm addicted to it. I'm keeping up with each Call of Duty. You know, I'm not a guy that played since day one on the first original Call of Duty and played through all the rest of them. I briefly played Black Ops 2 because I had it on the Wii U, and I had, I believe, Black Ops 3 on the PlayStation 4, but I wasn't like dead set on playing them as much as this one. So I think Modern Warfare 2 lived up to the hype that everybody told me about it. They're like, dude, get this one, it's going to be awesome. You know, I was totally in the zone for the campaign. And playing multiplayer, I literally could just sit here and sink the teeth. Playing the game over and over, just, it's kind of like my decompression thing, I guess, if that makes any sense. So I guess I'm not jaded by many years or decades of playing Call of Duty. I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, you know, it's just a nickel and dime. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking microtransactions in these games. I'm getting the battle passes. I'm one of those guys. I have to have the battle pass. I have that fear of missing out. But I like what they do here. The game controls awesomely. It looks great. The immersion's there. The soundtrack, you know, the weapons, everything about the game is just fucking great. Like, this is probably, out of the three that just came out, Cold War, Vanguard, and Modern Warfare 2, this one's probably my favorite one out of the bunch. And I like the 80s. You know, Cold War had my name written all over it, but this one I think is definitely the most polished. It's the best. It feels the most solid as far as like this noob to the Call of Duty series goes. And I'm having fun with it. So hopefully, you know, multiplayer is the meat and potatoes of this. I would like to see a lot more maps, a lot more modes, maybe some more skins added in. They did change some things though in regards to how the guns work, the progression with the levels. They changed the Gunsmith a little bit. It's like basically a whole new overhauled Gunsmith featured. So it eliminates, I guess, like the grind that you would have, because I remember each gun, like in Vanguard and Cold War, was like, what, 50 levels each, and it just felt like you had to spend countless hours grinding up the guns and stuff. So now when you unlock attachments, they're shared over the same guns on, I guess, the platform. So you'll get like LMGs, SMGs, launchers. You unlock the attachments one time and they're shared across that whole I guess gun category, if that makes any sense. So it's a little bit more different as far as like the unlockables and stuff go. So it's a little bit less grindy feeling, which I think is a good change that they added to it, along with Invasion and Ground War and things like that. So they did make some modifications that I've noticed. Again, I'm pretty much a Call of Duty noob, so I'm kind of like not really completely knowledgeable about all of the difference and stuff, but I do like the variety that we see here. So my first impressions of it, it's a good. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you on the next video.